Now call up Attorney Dennis Donald, representing petitioner for 4949A Charter Street, seeking to change the legal occupancy from a 6-family residential dwelling to an 8-family residential dwelling. The proposal includes to erect a 1-story addition, legalize the existing basement living space, and renovate the building. Building's not to exceed 55 feet and to be fully sprinkled.
Mr. President, members of the board, thank you for having me tonight. For the record, once again, my name is Daniel Pascano, and my law office is located at 15 Broad Street, Boston, Mass. 02109. I'm here representing the owner, Sim Weller, who's the owner of the property. With me today is Arthur Chu. I think everybody here may have either knows Arthur Chu personally or heard his name many times during the course of the years of development, the architect, and then Phil Celeste here representing.
I'm sorry, who's the owner of the property?
His name is Sim Weller. Sim Weller owns this property, owns a couple other properties in the North End. Unfortunately, his mom passed away on Saturday. He had to travel to Florida. Really apologize for not being here. We did attend his ELC not too long ago. He was present. He wanted to be present for the meetings. He won't be probably here on Thursday as well. But he is traveling because of the death in his family. So he apologized. Spoke with him yesterday morning. Apologized for not being here. He is traveling. So, as Brett said, we are wanting to change this occupancy, 49 Charter Street, from a 6-family residential dwelling to an 8-family residential dwelling. How we're going to do that? We're going to legalize one of the units that are in the lower level. It's already occupied. It's been occupied for about 10 years from the prior owner of the property, who's currently there. He's actually the only resident of the current building right now. That's going to be, say, unit number one. That's going to be the first addition, and then the additional unit we want to put on the roof deck, which would be not on the roof deck, on the roof, build a 1-story addition, which would be a roughly 660 square foot, 1-bedroom residential apartment. So let me go through it. So 49 Charter Street sits right here. This is 47. This is 57. This is Foster Street. Directly across the street is 1 Michelangelo. So everybody has an idea of where this property is. This property extends pretty far back. So this head house belongs to our building. This taller head house is on 47 Charter Street. And then it goes back. It doesn't stop here to this light gray. It goes back here. So there's really an upper portion of the property and then a lower portion of the property. So the upper portion of the property, the existing property, has 3 residential units. They're all 2-bedroom units, roughly in size. They're pretty small units, 600 to 700 square feet. And in the back, they are currently 2-bedroom residential units. So 3 in the back, and those are small. They're probably about 396 square feet, 2-bedroom apartments. So there's 6 existing units here. What we want to do is keep the 6, but we're going to change the bedroom count. Not for the front, remodel them, continue to have 2-bedroom residential units at about 700 some square footage. We'll go through the square footage. And in the back, because they're small, remodel them rather than making them a 2-bedroom residential unit, make them a 1-bedroom residential unit. The lower level unit is occupied by who was the current owner. So it has some health issues, and one of the reasons why Mr. Weller was the recipient of purchasing it, there was a number of individuals that wanted to buy this property. Sim Weller was the only person that was willing to give the current owner, because of his health conditions, a life estate in the property at free rent. So, and I don't think any resident here actually has a problem with maybe legalizing that residential unit, so it would be for the current tenant there, and, a life estate for him at no rent far. So moving forward, we went through it here, seeking the proposal. Lot size is 1,687 square feet, multifamily residential sub-district. Here we are, right here in orange. It's just the site plan 57. This is 47. These 2 buildings are Foster Street. This one in the middle is the single-family residential dwelling that was probably purchased and remodeled a few years ago. And the other one here is the Martinetti Della Russo project that was maybe before the board a few years ago, which is I think a 4-family residential dwelling. This is 16 Foster Street, I believe, that extends all the way back. And Michelangelo here, and then other Charter Street buildings. Just kind of give you another existing site view as you can see it there. moving forward, there we are. So right now, that current height is approximately 34 feet, but and you'll see another picture in the back. When you get to the back, it actually gets lower. It's only 29 feet in height, as the slope goes down to Foster Street. So we're at 34 feet, and in the back is 29 feet. Here's our violations. By filing this application, we did experience some violations of the zoning code. First would be the open space violation. You have to have in a multifamily residential sub-district. You need 100 square feet per residential unit. There is no proposed roof decks, there is no proposed back decks, so we don't meet that zoning code requirement, so we are in violation. Second violation is the FAI. Everybody's familiar with the FAI. You hear it all the time. Every time you want to do something in the neighborhood, most of the buildings are already pre-existing in violation of FAI. The FAI in this neighborhood is 3. We are currently, with the existing living space, we are below the 3, but adding the living space in the basement, the lower level and the upper level, we're going to go to 3.7. And the violation of parking. We all know that there's a parking violation. You have to have 1 parking spot per residential unit. We're certainly not for parking on site at this location, but we're required to add 2 residential parking spots, 1 for each residential unit. Unfortunately, we're not able to meet that requirement, or else we're digging underneath Charter Street into Foster Street. And then the other violation would be a roof structure. The roof structure violation triggers because we are changing, we're adding the 1-story addition, we're changing the existing look of the existing roof. This is a photo rendition of the new addition, how it's going to look. This photo was kind of taken from across the street. I think it was maybe 48 Charter Street, looking over. So as you can see, here's the roof edge. We're going to be set back. So this is really the existing head house that we're going to utilize, so which is going to remain. And we're set back from here to here is 21 feet. So set back, so you're not going to be able to see this from the street of Charter Street, so it's not going to be right up to the sidewalk. So it's set back approximately 21 feet. In the back, it's set back 10.5 feet from the roof edge. So there's 2 existing head houses, and we'll see it. And what this new addition is really going to sit in between the 2 head houses, because we're going to utilize the two stairwells that are in there for the existing unit. Okay. So that's just we can get back to that. So that's an existing unit here that we want to propose, unit number 8. So site plan, as I just kind of went over, existing floor plan, not existing, I apologize. These are proposed floor plans. Here's unit number 1, which the owner currently lives. Well, I don't want to say the owner, I apologize. The former owner currently lives. It's going to be remodeled. It's going to be a 1-bedroom residential unit, and on the front side of the property, and then on the back side of the property, it's just going to be mechanicals and storage. Okay, so it's not taking the whole floor. This is just going to be mechanicals and storage, and unit 1 is just going to be for the former owner. Okay, and he has several means of egress. There's an egress here into the alleyway. From this alleyway is approximately 6 feet wide. This here would be 57 Charter Street, and then our property. Okay, and then there's 2 ways you can get in on Charter Street. Unit 2 and 3, two being in the back and 3 being in the front, 2-bedroom residential unit. We're going to remodel that, make it a 1-bedroom residential unit. So there'll be 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedrooms, and 1 bath. And moving forward to unit 4 and unit 5, same with unit 6 and unit 7. And here's the new residential unit. As you can see, it's approximately 664 square feet, 1 bedroom. As you can see, it's set back 10 feet 4 inches from the back of our property, and also here 21.4 from there. And what we're utilizing is, this is the 1 existing head house, and this is another existing head house. You see a stairway here, and it probably makes no sense to you right now, that stairwell. But as I said, the front of the property is about 5 feet taller than the back of the property. So to get from the front of this residential unit to the back of it, you have to go down about 5 steps. So we're just adding that stairwell. That's internal. Okay. With the existing number of bedrooms, currently there are 12 bedrooms in the existing building, 2 bedrooms per unit, 6 units. We're actually reducing the number of bedrooms to 11. So we're reducing it by 1 more bedroom. Front elevation, as you can see, is going up here. It's about 44 feet in height, so going up 10 feet to 44, so we do not have a height violation. We just have a roof structure violation. From the front elevation, it looks like that it's up front, but it's not, it's just set back. That's just for purposes so everybody can see the height of it, okay? And this is the back. So since the back of the property is a lot lower, this addition, it looks like a two-story addition, is about 15 feet, 7 inches high. And basically what it does, it makes the entire property level, okay? So this is why this appears to be like really a two-story addition, but it's just gonna have high ceilings, you know, and it's a one-story addition with a high ceiling in the back of the property. And you can get a better look from it here. So see how this building is a lot lower? So kind of make it, just to make it even. And there's gonna be no open decks here, no front open decks, no roof decks here. And there's sun study, because there are some there's a property, as I mentioned, I keep mentioning 57 Salem Street, and you'll hear from the abutters, and we've had great conversations with the abutters, and they have some concerns, and you know, you'll hear from them tonight. So sun study, we have all 4 seasons, so the spring. So this is, the top you're looking at is the existing conditions with no addition. And so you got 9 o'clock, noontime, 3 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, you have some shadows. You have the outline of the one-story addition here, the shadow that's going to shadow the 4th floor windows of 57 Charter Street. This is high noon, there's no impact here, or maybe just a little additional shadow right there, but that's high noon. And then you can see really no shadow difference at 3 o'clock as the sun has shifted. Moving forward to the summer, existing conditions, some shadows here because of the one-story addition, that a little bit greater than our spring. But moving forward at high noon, no shadows, and then at 3 o'clock, the shadow is actually casting towards us, so no impact, no additional impact. The fall, once again, same scenario. We get the outline at 9 o'clock in the morning, high noon, just a little right there, and then 3 o'clock where the shadows coming towards us. And then now in the wintertime, there's the existing conditions, some shadows here. This is the biggest impact is really 9 o'clock in the morning. At high noon, you get some impact here in the wintertime, and then at 3 o'clock, just shadows are coming the other way. So that is the entire presentation, and happy to answer any questions and go back to any slide.
I'd like to open it up to the council. So, John?
Windows facing to the, we're looking at this.
So basically, so there are some proposed windows on the side here because we do have 6 feet. That was one of the concerns from residents at 57 in particular. You'll hear from Joanna, she'll tell you about it. But we're happy to reconfigure, as we said, if this proposal was approved by the zoning board, we're happy to reconfigure them, put them somewhere else. So the last thing we mind is to look directly into her window and have any privacy effects. So there are windows proposed, but they could be moved. The more significant windows are here and in the back, so you get the water view.
They're rented now, all of them? I mean,
No, just,
okay.
they're empty, actually.
So they're empty now.
Just the former owner is still
Gotcha.
living there.
Gotcha. And I guess it's gonna revert back to full ownership at the end of the life estate?
Correct.
And obviously, no Airbnbs or anything like that?
Wouldn't qualify.
All right.
I'm just going to open it up. If you guys want to give a presentation or speak on that. Just
Sure.
introduce yourself with that.
Yeah, my name's Christine Clements. I live at 57 Charter Street. Thank you guys for hearing our comments about this. I live on the 5th floor, 57 Charter, right in the front. Those are my windows right there. I bought my condo in 1998. I live there. There's 16 units in that building. We are 50% owner occupied. Joanna also lives there. And we take really good care of our building. We care about it. We're invested in it. We got a lot of owner residents. We don't allow Airbnb. It's in our bylaws. We're pretty strict about that. My objection to this is that, well, it's going to be building that is 6 feet outside my window, and that impacts my property, my light, views, and air. I know that when the architect made the presentation to the zoning committee last week and showed that two-level arrangement and kitchen in the middle and the stairs down into this 15-foot height ceiling living room and the windows and what a great view they'd have from the kitchen, I said, yeah, that's the view from my kitchen right now that I won't have anymore if this gets built. My objections to this really are two on the zoning issues. One is that roof structure objection from Article 54. Anything built above the height of an existing building as of 1985 needs Board of Appeal approval, even though I know it's not going to the 55-foot height limitation in the neighborhood. My building is 55 feet, I know that. But exceeding the existing height, the Board of Appeal needs to approve that and consider whether it has the potential for significantly restricting light and or airflow and or significantly restricting views from roof, windows, doors, or balconies. And so this roof structure would do all of that, and I would hope that it would be objected to on that account. The other issue that Dan mentioned is the floor area ratio. Most projects that come for variances already violate those, and they're grandfathered in. But this is a case where currently the building meets the floor area ratio, and they're looking to violate it. So on that basis, I would hope that you would join me in opposing it. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Joanna Daly. I know a lot of you in this room, but for those of you who don't know me, my husband is John Daly of the Parziali family. You probably know Loretta, everyone in this room knows Loretta. My husband and I are not people who get in the way of progress in this neighborhood. However, we do get upset when progress is being made at the expense of the people around it. My unit in this building is, I own the 4th and 5th floor units, 4B and 5B. They are in the back of the building, and there are 4 windows that go that, 5 windows that go in both of my floors of the unit. The new structure,
That's the best view.
yeah, that's the best view. The new structure actually is going to be a little bit higher than that. It is actually going to completely block out any light, any natural light that 4B receives right now. It's just all 5 windows are impacted. So that unit will never see sunlight. 5B will be impacted as well, just because it goes all the way back to the building, so all 5 of my windows have some impact. It won't lose all sunlight completely, but it will lose significant sunlight as well. Speaking to the privacy issue, I have no privacy. My bedroom, my bathroom, and my kitchen are all on that wall. Anybody can see into anything that I'm doing. I lose all elements of privacy at this standpoint. There's no airflow. The only way that you get natural air to move through the units is to open up a window in the back of the unit, much to her, she'll open the front, and then one of the side windows to get that airflow. With a gigantic wall in front of that building, it is literally 6 feet away, that is going to block off any airflow that is going to be moving through the units. So now I'm stuck with a unit that has 0 privacy, 0, I'm now looking at just a wall that doesn't even match the same structure of what exists. I have no natural sunlight, and I might as well just move to my basement, because that's what it's going to feel like when they put that in there. But this isn't just impacting me, it is impacting our neighbors, all of our neighbors. He did show you some of the neighbors on Foster Street. One of them has a deck on the top. That is now going to be walled in. They're going to be essentially living in a well. Another unit is going to, the other building next door, the Della Russo building, they're going to be losing privacy because that's their bathroom. The one with they're going to be looking at this gigantic window now outside of their bathroom. So they're losing privacy. And I often hear in this neighborhood from everybody that there's constant change that's not going for the good, that this is negatively impacting us, that the neighborhood is changing too much. Well, we have the ability to stop it. This change is happening at our expense, my expense. I have deep roots in this community. My husband was born and raised here, as was his mother. And I have to now, for personal greed, for a guy that wants to make a buck by putting another rental unit on a building, lose any sense of privacy and any sense of community so that he can rent it out to a bunch of strangers. I really want you to oppose this. It impacts not just me, not just my immediate neighborhoods, but it's creating a trend that we're just going to be creating and building these gigantic buildings to rent them out to total strangers and watching this community change even more. So I do hope you vote to oppose this.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Just, I mean, if they, I don't even know if this is something you could do, but if it's stepped down as opposed to going straight across, would that lessen its negative impact to you, like in terms of?
No, because 4B is going to be impacted no matter what. So,
Will be impacted. We can lower the back, or talk to the architect and the owner about lowering the back. How much we can, I mean,
But you
certainly,
would-
but I think 4B definitely gets impacted.
I think going up higher.
sorry?
By him building up higher,
Yes.
that blocks your sunlight.
4B completely. My whole entire fourth floor unit loses sunlight.
And which floor are you on?
I'm on the 5th floor.
Is the fifth the top floor, or
Yes,
is there an
yes.
additional floor on top?
No,
Fifth is the top floor?
Right here, this is the
Yep.
fifth right here.
So the impact on me personally is not as bad as it is on Joanna, but
If I were these ladies, I would be upset too. Absolutely.
We certainly, no, we've met, we've thought, we had some good discussions, we certainly understand the opposition and why. Joanne is absolutely correct, that her windows at 4B will certainly impacted by the addition. You know, I know he is an investor here and purchased the property, but he wants to certainly remodel. I mean, and you've seen over the years in the neighborhood, many folks have come, purchased properties, remodeled them, be fully sprinkled, bring it up to code. Add the one-story addition, we see that a lot in the neighborhood. It really does beautify the properties in the neighborhood, and we've seen that throughout the neighborhood, and this is why our neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods. It's gone from a poor neighborhood when I was growing up here to medium to, you know, well-off neighborhood, you know, and it's because people have been fixing up the buildings and being able to add what's up. But we understand, we don't want to create, and, you know, she owns her property owner, she lives there, Christina as well. We certainly want to be able to work with her. We will continue to. Maybe there is something.
If I may add, Christine, and I think I can speak for Christine on this, we are not opposed to them fixing the building. By all means, you own the building, fix it, bring it up to code, make it a nice place to live. But adding another level isn't necessary to make the building better, it is just to make more money. And that's where we have that concern. Please make it better if you want, but not at our expense.
We will continue to work with them to see if we can do something that makes this work. I think the issue is Sim wanted to be helpful to the former owner and give him a life estate. So we wanted to do that, and this really helps, makes the project work. But once again, we understand significant impact on 4B, and we want to be able to work with her and see if we can make everybody happy.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
The other unit owners behind you or whatever it is, if by building it higher is affecting them,
Yes.
why aren't they sitting here tonight?
One of them was going to be, I don't know where he is. Actually, I don't even know who he is.
You could have wrote a letter to the
Yep.
council.
Yep.
It says, I'm sorry, I cannot attend, but you know, I can relate to you because they're having the same problem on Salem Street.
Yep.
Okay, he wants to build higher, okay, and you can see the windows, you can see the sun, and by him building it up, he blocks that view for those people that have lived there for 80 years.
And I'm not complaining even about a view. I mean, right now, I look at the top of a roof. It's not a view.
It's the quality of
It's the
life.
quality of life.
Yeah.
In his ability to make a dollar by building this and getting high rent is making my property values go down, and that should be concerning to this council.
So this is, as I said, the Della Russo, and I don't even know, I keep using his name, I don't even know if he's an owner, it's Martinelli. property.
he is.
Andy,
Anthony, yeah.
Yeah, it's Anthony Monet. This building is higher than our building, much higher, and even when we build, if we're allowed to build even 15 feet higher, we're not even going close to his roof line, and he has no windows on the back, so there's really no impact there. This one here is a single family. They do have a roof deck. They're a little bit taller than our current building in the back, because it really abuts the back of our building. So by building the one-story addition, it does create a wall. Does it, on one hand, does it give him more privacy? On the other hand, there's not gonna be no windows on our side looking over his roof deck. On the other hand, is there opposition because it says you're closing my deck in? I mean, I don't know. I haven't, it's got notice, so haven't heard. And this is 47 Charter Street. I've talked to the owner there. Didn't seem to be any opposition, so. But 57 is really the impact problem.
You people are coming in front of the resident association.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there
So
on
why don't you get some of the people in that building, your building, behind the building, the side of the building, and get petition. You can get a petition,
Yep.
and you could get letters to do something to stop that they don't go any higher than what they have to. They should just appreciate the 6 units he has instead of building 2 more units. And where is the garbage gonna go?
Gonna be the same
That's
spot.
not a very
where-
big street.
Right, I mean, this is currently 6 units there.
He's gonna
they're in
use
the same
basement as
location.
another room,
I mean,
Danny.
we can create a trash room. I think by creating a trash room, I don't think helps out the property. Now you have to have somebody coming in there throwing out the trash. I mean, it's been 6 units, trash is going out on the streets, during the regular course of the trash pickup, so.
Yeah, if I may add a little perspective on this. First of all, I mean, we're talking about greed of developers and whatever. I have a real estate agency here, and we rent to strangers all day long. I mean, this neighborhood welcomes strangers. And once they live here, they're no longer strangers, they're our neighbors. Okay? Dr. Weller, this building was deteriorating, and the owner had a lot of problems. He has a lot of issues, and physical and otherwise. They need someone who would accept him and keep him in the building. Nobody wanted to keep him in the building. The way this was presented to us from the city, it was presented as a 7-unit building. And he's been living in that unit. He's been living, the basement, it's not really a basement because it's almost 55% above ground.
55% of the living space is above ground.
And he's got a kitchen, a bathroom, it's a unit. So it was presented to us as a 7, but subsequently we found out that was legally only 6. Okay, but that was fine, we went forward. Dr. Weller owns 3 other buildings in the north end, and he's a long-term hold. Across from my office, he's owned this building for over 20 years. He's not a flipper, he keeps his units nice, he builds quality units, and opposed from taking away value from your units, I assure you, he's going to add value to your building, in your neighborhood.
How can he add value when nobody wants to buy a unit that's essentially living into a cave?
Well,
That
I
is
think,
decreasing my value.
from the perspective of you're going to have a nice new building renovated next to your building, as opposed to a vacant building. The other thing too is Dr. Weller's held this building for almost 2 years, okay, with no income. The building was deteriorating. So you have to look from perspective. It's nice to say, okay, I've lived in the north end. I mean, my family comes from the north end. Some of them had buildings they paid hardly anything for. You have to have some consideration for people who come into this neighborhood, take a deteriorating building, and pay millions of dollars for it. And you can't knock them for trying to maximize value. You really can't. Because you know what you paid for your units. I don't know if you paid, before 2008 or after 2008. But some people pay dearly. And a lot of people say it's the top of the market. So it's a risk. You have to understand it's a risk. So for that life estate, and Vincent, he's got some health problems, but he's probably going to be around for 20, 30 years. So he's got a life tenant for 20, 30 years. So that's an issue. So that's why the 8th floor, the 8th unit. Some of the other things as far as airflow and light. You have units, you have first floor, second floor, third floor. What are they saying? What about their airflow? They've been there, that building's been there 100 years. right? 6 feet away, are they screaming?
They bought it knowing
That's true,
that.
but yeah.
So your
Right.
guy's a little bit arrogant
No, I
to
understand what you're saying.
assume that he's gonna increase their property value when their views are
No,
gone and they're
that's
looking
not,
at
that
a
is not
brick
opinion, it's
wall.
my opinion.
And-
It's my opinion.
God bless his generosity.
It's my opinion.
My opinion, God bless his generosity, he's gonna keep the guy there for the rest of his life. But it looks to me like there's an agenda here.
Well,
So you can stay in this lower unit for the rest of your life, but you know what, I'm gonna put another unit upstairs and this and that. I'm sorry,
No,
I
let me
don't think
clarify
that there's
that,
any
Ian.
generosity or love
Let me
here.
clarify that.
I think that it's a guy just trying to put up his building
Vincent
without,
can have-
I'm sorry, I'm talking, without any concern of ruining their quality of life and their view. No cross breeds, she has a nice view, now it's
Oh, I
gonna be gone.
understand that.
They're
I understand
absolutely
the issue.
right. I don't think this
The
guy is such a
current
great
tenant-
Samaritan with what he's doing, because he's doing that with lo scopo, with the agenda.
The
I'm
current
sorry.
tenant can have any unit in the back, any one bedroom. The current tenant's been in that bottom unit for over a decade, and he wants to stay there. So he can have a brand new back unit, or we
Or
can
evict the guy
completely
downstairs.
renovate the unit he's in, which is actually bigger, in which he's used to having the access. The guy is very habitual, very shy. He actually has 4 accesses to his unit right now. He can enter from the back, he can enter from the front, from the sidewalk, from the front hallway, and from the side alley.
Mr. Pre-
Can you just introduce yourself for the record, too? sorry.
I'm Phil Celeste, I'm a broker of RNG Realty, 404 Hanover Street.
What's your interest in being here, Phil?
I help manage the building for him, and I sold him the building. I help facilitate the sale.
Okay.
Mr. President, maybe I make a suggestion. I don't think anyone has a problem with the lower level unit and keeping Vincent there. I didn't mean to use his name, but the tenant there. I don't think anyone has a problem. Certainly the one-story addition is a problem. We want to, obviously, I can gauge the temperature of the council moving forward and how good the vote will be. But we want to move forward and try to change it to an 8. If this continues, we're going to continue to try to work with the abutters. Maybe see if we can make some adjustments. Maybe we can work some out. Maybe there's a benefit that we can all be happy. Maybe there's not. Suggest the council make a vote. If there's some significant changes to the proposal, I want to have the opportunity to come back before the board.
Any other questions, comments? And I'll call the council to make their votes and pass it down to Tina.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.